Hi, it's Carol from Crinkled Path Journals again, and I'm working in my altered book with another junk journal with me memory keeping today. I pulled some items related to a trip that my sister took with friends to the city. And the city for us here is San Francisco. And my sister, when she went on this trip, probably just a day trip with friends actually, she went to a bookstore there and she purchased this set of books for me. They are Marie Sendak's Nutshell Library, which includes One Was Johnny, Pierre, Chicken Soup with Rice, and Alligators All Around. Now, Marie Sendak is well known for his story Where the Wild Things Are, but I loved these little books as a child, and it was extra special that they came from my sister. Then I'm not sure if it was close to the same time as these were published or if it was a little later, but I remember they animated the books and Carole King sang the lyrics. And I loved it because it was familiar to me. I'd had them read to me and read them myself over and over so much. I loved that it was put to music. And I've mentioned before that I love music. So how fun. Still have these books today, but then I found some at a yard sale that were not in great shape. And so I pulled some pages to be able to put some pages in my memory book today so that I can keep my precious ones from my sister still intact. The next page in the book had macaroni, and so I thought, oh, I have to definitely include this page. And then this is the first page in the book. The other thing I pulled out was this library pocket with a sign-out sheet from 1972, which would have been a little before my sister gave me these. Actually, curious now when the printing of these was. Originally, 1962 was the copyright, and I'm fairly certain she gave them to me sometime in the mid-70s. The other thing I grabbed were a couple more of the outfits from my paper dolls because I want to keep incorporating those, and I just pulled these because they had similar colors. And then the other thing I grabbed was this ice cream card because when I would go to San Francisco with my parents, the thing I remembered was Ghirardelli ice cream. Getting to go every once in a while to get ice cream when we would go into the city. So I thought I'd incorporate that. I printed some more vintage wallpapers. I'm not sure which way this goes. I suppose it's okay no matter which way it goes. And I printed these too because again, I was trying to get colors that go with the book page, and I think I'm leaning towards the one with the greens and the blues just because these have the greens and the blues and the black or gray. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this one. These images were from the Vintage Floral Wallpaper packet from Digital Curio on Etsy, and the owner's name is Kate Rose. And I really love the old vintage wallpapers that look like they were printed in layers, like each specific color printed separately on the paper. And I actually have a roll of wallpaper from the 1940s that was printed like this, and although it may not be 1970s, I love the colors and I love the images, so I'm going to use that, and then I'll save this one for another page. So let's get going on how we're going to get this down. I don't have a plan. I do know that I want to leave the macaroni showing. And so I'm thinking I'm going to just put part of this on and then put make these guys a flip. So let me get my paper trimmer and let's see if we can make this fit on the page. I think I might go with these, with the smaller area of printing here rather than this big rose. And it looks like I need my paper to not go over the mac and cheese. We want to cut it about there and then on the edge right there. Now I'm just going to move things around until I decide the way I like it. The glue on the back of this is actually kind of pulled some of the paper off and made it almost like translucent. But I'm just going to use this for my journaling. So I think I'm just going to put this like down under here. And I'm trying to decide if I want to make these all flip up. I think I do because I want to be able to see the florals underneath. My little ice cream card could go in here too, and then it could cover up my journaling. I think I like this one because this one has the pink shoes and the green is darker. I was thinking maybe I would color the image of the macaroni and cheese too. So I think I'm gonna do that with my Prismacolor pencils. Before I glue anything else down, I will go ahead and glue this paper down. I just printed this on the Epson presentation cardstock. I find that it gives the best color. So now to color my macaroni. So like most American kids, I grew up with Kraft macaroni and cheese, and it's bright orange. I think that it's a little bit ironic that the colors on the Kraft macaroni and cheese box are blue and yellow. And as long as I can remember, they've been. And since we're kind of using the blue, green, and yellow in this, it kind of makes it fun to tie that in. So one of the things about Prismacolor pencils is that they have a high wax content. And so you can take odorless mineral spirits that you get in the fine art section of like a hobby shop. My video cut out, but I can catch you up because you only missed a couple of seconds. I was talking about the odorless mineral spirits and how I have these blending stumps that are just basically made out of paper, but they look like a pencil. And when you add the odorless mineral spirits to the waxy colored pencil, it melts the wax and blends the color. So you get a nice solid color instead of having the grain of the paper, and it also will blend from one color to the next, which I was blending the macaroni and went on to say that odorless mineral spirits will dry, and you want to do this in a well ventilated space because even though it doesn't have a strong any kind of strong odor, hence the odorless, it isn't great to breathe it for a long time. You can also use Gamasol, I believe, to do this technique. And these blending stumps come in like packs of several for very little in the fine art section of a craft store. So I just keep a little mason jar with just a tiny bit in my travel art bag, and then I can pull it out whenever I need. And then I have a blending stump for each color of the rainbow, and I have this sandpaper block that I use to sort of file down the tip when I need it to be more pointy again. And they come in all different sizes depending on the detail of your work. So I got interrupted, but it was actually a blessing because I checked my camera and it had quit running. This time it was not an issue of, I've been faithfully getting my do not disturb on. It was that I ran out of memory. I really need to transfer some photos off of my phone, which is what I use to record. This isn't quite the right yellow. That's a little better. It's a little bit lighter than the goldenrod pages. I like the Prismacolor for their intense color, and you can see here how well the white is doing covering up the yellow paper. It's a really good example of just how well these lay down pigment. So I did a lot of cooking as a child. I started cooking pretty early. My mom was working and I was a latchkey kid for a lot of my childhood. And when I got old enough to be trusted with the stove, that became one of my tasks or chores, was to start dinner before she got home. And it was something I actually liked to do. I think I was a very picky eater when I was a small child, and I actually had saved a page, let's see, this page back here, where I want to journal about some of my food loves. Even though I was picky, I had a few things that I absolutely loved, and I wanted to journal about that here. But I haven't found the ephemera I want yet. I think cooking really helped me to not be as picky of an eater. It gave me the opportunity to try things and experiment, and it helped me to develop some new tastes. It takes very little pressure to blend this out. And I love how it makes the pigment just melt into the page as it melts that wax. I like how that's turned out. It definitely stands off the page more now. I'm going to flip back and see that it didn't go through my gesso on this page. What I tend to see is if I don't have paint or something and it's just the single page, I tend to see kind of a wet spot, but then it dries. It doesn't affect anything on the back of the page. Okay. I think I want something on the back of this just to cover up that. This was actually glued down in the book rather than having a library pocket for it. So I think I'm just going to glue this little snippet on there. But I really like the original stamping on it, so I'm not going to cover that up. Guess I didn't quite get the glue down far enough. There we go. Okay, I want this down here on a hinge. And then I think I'm gonna put this guy over here. And then I guess I want them both over here. I think I'm gonna trim them down just a smidge. Try and line up the squares. This square here, I'm just lining it up with the one behind so that I'm trimming them the same size. And I'm not cutting off any of the image. I cut straighter when I have longer bladed scissors, but I'm just using what's at my fingertips right now. I talked about in my first video that I had grand plans to be completely organized before I started filming, and you know, we all know that completely organized is a pipe dream, but I'm somewhat organized now. And I have embraced the go for it attitude and just have been jumping into journaling a lot more and being able to share it. And it's been a good experience. So I'm glad I've pushed myself a little bit. All right, I feel like this needs something else. Do I want all three of these together? I think I'm going to use some washi tape to hinge these. So I'm going to try and do some hinges now that I'm done being indecisive about where to put these. Okay, there's that one. And then I'm gonna just glue this guy down, cut the little flaps off. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and hinge this around the page. Sometimes it helps to lay it on this Teflon sheet because then it comes up really easily. Okay, I'm gonna put it around the page. Just like that. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. Ah, my little barrel of monkeys guy keeps jumping out at me. I think I like that. It worked out okay. Maybe I can put my other outfit there. Why not? And I'm going to leave the tags on this one. I kind of been switching back and forth, leaving the tags and not leaving the tags. Did you have a place you visited or your family visited that you got a special gift, or did you have a favorite food associated with some place that your family visited? I'd love to hear in the comments. Let's see if I can not glue this to this. I think I'd still like something here, but I'm not sure what. And maybe something up in this corner too. Should we look at our flower and see if we can make something work from here? I mean, it seems a shame to not have this be part of the page somehow, right? I guess I could try and make this rose fit. It might hang off a little bit. We'll just fussy cut until we find something that fits, right? Okay, do we need anything else? Pull out my trusty ribbon and lace bin here. I feel like it could use just a little something on there. Make sure I didn't glue my ice cream in. Last reinforcement, and then we'll call it good. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.